Hey everyone, it's James. It's May 28th, about 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. This is the 4-hour chart of Bitcoin, BTC, USD on the Bitfinex exchange. I'm going to make today's video a little just kind of brief, straight to the point. If you want something more elaborate on why I'm making these logical assumptions based on where I think price is heading, please watch the May 27th video. That will go much more in depth, and the prices are the price points and everything is all very similar because we've not moved much since yesterday. So the green line is the uptrend line, the overall trend. If price cannot hold 6,900, price will move down to 6,425, which is this low right here. If this low gives out, down to 6,000. Below that, I don't even want to talk about in this video because that's pure fantasy land that we would just all automatically drop like this over the next 12 hours or so. So those are the price points to look for. Beyond that, what we need is for price to move to the upside, we need to break above the 7,800 zone. If price does not break above the 7,800 zone, then we should stay in this downward channel now that we've created with a couple lines of frequency. To the downside, we can see where price is kind of moving down, showing that sellers are obviously in control of the market, and that every time buyers step up, there's not enough of them to sustain the change in trend, so we are continuing to stair step downward. So if we break above this zone and we can hold trading above this zone, the next target for price to reach is 9,990. That is the prior high. If we can break above that high, then price will then start to have a series of higher lows, and then we'll start to work to higher highs, right? So we'd have a higher high over this high, and then more than likely do action like this. Now, what we're moving at is a very subtle increase in price. It looks like it's going to be a very incremental ride to the top if this is the path that we are choosing, and as long as this 69 level hold, the 6,900 level holds, okay? And you can kind of visually see this as I draw this out, and I'm probably the only person that's going to do this. So we have these arches, right? We have this first arch, the second arch, the third arch, and then the fourth arch is more than likely going to look something like this. If it does change and we do break to 9,990, then it's great. We're starting to change the frequency of this chart that we're seeing right here. But what this is showing is that price is kind of smoothing out. This is something very common after bubbles happen. You kind of have this return to normalization. It takes a lot of time for price to kind of recuperate, recapture its energy, and then start to progress higher. It took the Nasdaq over about 15 years in order to get back to the point it's at now. So since the dot-com bubble, so it took a very long time. It doesn't mean the crypto market has to take 15 years. It just is going to take longer because now I have to kind of build that base out and recapture a lot of people that left this market, that got hammered by the market, and then just show that the market is here to stay, right? And then as that happens, people start to pile back in, the market starts to build back up, the integrity of the market, is there, and then everybody's just happy, everybody's euphoric, and it kind of looks something very similar to what you see in the fiat market, something in the like the stock market, etc. Right? And one thing I want to touch on real quick too is I know when I say the bubble, some people are like, well, this is the same percentage gain as blah blah blah, and then they have the whole chart of all the different percentage changes and drops and etc. And they're like, this is absolutely normal for Bitcoin. What they do fail to talk about, everybody fails to talk about this side, and it is one of the most crucial aspects of any chart that you have to pay attention to, is the human psychology, is the sentiment of the market. We reached maximum euphoria here, where people were literally doing irrational things. They were selling their houses, second mortgage, credit cards, loans, etc., all to buy into Bitcoin. The mainstream media created the propaganda that this bubble needed to corral as many people into this market as possible, and they got hammered. And they got hammered hard as the bubble exploded, and that's what happens during bubbles. It's not about the percentage change. It's about what happens psychologically. That is why it takes so long for these markets to recover. It is about psychology more than it is about the chart, right? So you kind of have to think about both aspects here. It's not just a bunch of indicators that will give you the leverage you need as a trader. It's thinking not only with the chart, but it's thinking about the psychological aspects behind it as well at these key areas to take advantage of that. Where there's chaos, there's typically opportunity. It goes both ways, right? So no wonder why the futures market was introduced on Bitcoin right in this area, right? No wonder why. You want to know why? Because chaos through mass euphoria leads to opportunity for those looking at it, right? So, anyways, we had basically the backside of the bubble and that return to normalization. That can cause the horizontal nature and price movement into the future, okay? The other thing that can cause the horizontal price movement into the future is the fact that we start to have these manipulated runs or price runs, but then gives back all its gains, right? Showing that there's a mass push, like there's a strong push, like you see something in the penny stocks where they'll basically create a small little push in price. Then they disseminate all the propaganda through faxes, sales letters, emails, advertising, sales phone calls, blah, 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 right? So they do the mass propaganda. They attract as many traders as they possibly can. And that's exactly what we kind of see here happen in Bitcoin. Every time there's a pop, everybody comes out the woodwork with these crazy figures, right? And the most notorious one is John McAfee, based on the crap that he said that he would do if he was wrong, right? And he starts upping his ante and he starts saying it's going to be $1 million by 2020. And then everybody else comes out the woodwork and they're like, I'm going to jump on that train. And they're like, well, I'm going to one-up you because by next month, it's going to be $2 trillion, And it just gets really, really crazy. And it's very reminiscent of what you kind of see happen in the penny stock market, what I saw happen when I was much younger, starting my investing career. I had other friends that worked in the penny stock industry, and that's exactly how it worked out. They basically corral as many sheep as they can to the slaughter, and they basically get slaughtered right at the top every single time. It's called pump and dump for a reason, right? So not only do you have the Department of Justice like doing a probe into the manipulation, which I highly doubt anything's going to come of that, because anybody worth any money will escape easy. It would be the small guys that more than likely go to jail. So if anyone does. But anyways, so we have this push, right? The return. And you can kind of see these push bars. So this is the one push. This is the second push. That's another push. And that's another push. Look what happened every single time. Boom, we rolled over. Look what happened. Go back to the articles at these price points if you want to and you don't believe me. The mass euphoria started, like it never reached a point of this. It never will again. But the point is that it started like trickling in there. And everybody thought we were going to go straight to the moon at this point, right? And even when we came back, everybody started thinking we were going to go straight to the moon like so. And the same thing happened here. And the same thing happened here, right? When I talked about a corrective move in the market, I did not anticipate a full retracement, but I talked about a corrective move. And then as we started giving up certain zones, and I was like, well, damn, this thing's going to keep going down. So the point is that we are giving up everything because what's happening is we're getting that pump and then we're getting the dump by the whales into retail traders, and that can cause price to move to a horizontal point because less and less people are going to want to participate in this, which I've also seen happen. I've seen a lot of people start to leave this market. People I know start to just say, you know what, I'm done trading it. It's just way too manipulated. There's just no way I can keep up with this crap. And people are starting to drop out. So as that starts to happen, that can move price to a horizontal formation, basically, like where we start to kind of flatline in the market. So I didn't mean to make this video so long. I think I'm already up to like 8 minutes here, but that's pretty much summarizes everything. If you want something more in detail, check out yesterday's video, but I gave everybody the price points they needed, followed up with some logical reasoning on why I'm talking about these certain areas and also what I'm kind of expecting in the future for Bitcoin. It's not that I expect the demise of the market. There's just some things that definitely have to be worked out, and you can visually see that on the chart. I don't need news to tell me. I don't need anything else to tell me. All I need to provide my information is what's happening between buyers and sellers, because at the end of the day, that is all that matters, is what are people willing to buy it at? What are people going to sell it at? That's all that matters at the end of the day when you're trading, right? So I hope everybody has a great night, great day, depending on where you are in the world. I thank you for your time. I thank you for your support. Please like, subscribe, follow. If you do like the content, I will provide another video tomorrow evening. And then also too, if you're not joining the Slack channel, I would advise that you do that. It's absolutely free. You can go to my site, geometriccharts.com. At the bottom, I have a link to my Slack channel. That Slack channel has over 340 members now from all over the world. People share their own analysis, opinions, charts. It's just a really nice, friendly environment that is cryptocurrency oriented. If you're looking for something more in detail, like more hand-holding in a way that, I don't mean to say like in a derogatory way, but basically where I do analysis morning, intraday, and at night for the cryptocurrency markets, stocks, commodities, and I kind of touch on the Forex markets because they kind of intertwine with the stock market and the commodities depending on what I'm trading. But I do cover Bitcoin, Litecoin, Ethereum, EOS, NEO, and Ripple right now. Plus, if people have any like requests, I can also fulfill those requests as well too. But really, Bitcoin's kind of the juggernaut in this market that's really pushing its weight around on these altcoins too. Sometimes they outperform, sometimes they don't. But anyways, I do provide that service through a subscription service, no contracts, no like monthly. It's just a monthly fee of $24.95, and you cancel anytime. You know, if you find it's not for you, blah blah blah. But the point is, you can check out my site, geometriccharts.com, and I can tell you, I think it's definitely well worth the money. I've gotten a lot of positive feedback for what I do and the amount of time and effort I do put into that. That's why these videos are only done once a day versus the twice a day I used to do, is because I do have to allocate more of my time to the subscription side since people are paying money. And I do walk through the trades. Well, I post my own trades. I also talk about buy and sell areas, and I update it as real time as I possibly can at, you know, all throughout the day, as often as I possibly can as well too. So if you're interested in that, just check out the site. Other than that, I'll talk to everybody tomorrow morning, or sorry, tomorrow evening.